I believe success is more so a state of mind and frequency, a harmony, because you can be failure in one area of your life and be successful in another area. I believe that success is harmony, vibrating in joy, right? Like you're enjoying each and every aspect of it.
One of the main reasons that I reached out to you is because we kind of drifted apart, you know, from the companies that we were in. But then I saw you just take off, you know, and you ran with it. You became the man of that entire organization, right? You know, I ran off to a different organization, and I feel like I became that person as well. And then you just took over, you know, and I wanted to really see what you have done, how you've done it, because we got completely different styles on how we're doing things, right? But I see you on social media, I see what you're doing, I see how you're engaging the guys, so I just kind of wanted to pick your brain. And
that means a lot, you know, coming from an industry leader, and even coming in, you were a leader within the office that, you know, looked up to your leadership, looked up to how you ran things. I think you had the biggest team in the office, about to get promoted to running your own office.
Yeah.
And so it means a lot, man. I appreciate that.
Nah, definitely. I mean, and I'm happy to see that, bro. Like, you know, because I think we're kind of like the new age of, you know, the people that we used to look up to, which was like Tim, John.
Yeah.
And
we're the new dinosaurs, man.
Yeah, we're the new dinosaurs. Yeah, now that I'm talking to some of these kids, and I'm like, God damn, like old, bro. I'm getting old.
That's real.
You know? But yeah, so one of the first things that I really wanted to know, like I said, you know, I've met you. I saw you when you first came in. I saw how you were whenever you first starting. I know who you were and how you were. So I guess my main thing is, what mind shift was crucial for you in transitioning from a rookie to completely taking over the
mindset shift? That's a good question. It was a specific moment I remember, because I came to the industry at 20 years old too.
Yeah.
And so came in young, had a little early success, and at 20 years old, you know, we're making anywhere from say $80,000 to $100,000 a year. At the time, it felt like you couldn't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that goes for all of us at 20 years old making money. And I ended up renting the presidential suite at the Hilton downtown for New Year's.
Okay. And
for some reason, just being naive or being ignorant to the fact that I thought in my head that we could smoke inside the hotel, indoor hotels, the Hilton. And that was not the case, man. So we're down there for New Year's Eve and smoking out the hotel. They called me, hey, we're gonna charge your card. I'm like, charge them, mother love, I'll get another deal, it's all good. And they come through, man, and they shut everything down. Obviously, my name's on the room. They end up taking me to jail because I'm underage. I got bottles everywhere, I'm underage, so I'm 20 years old. They take me to jail, and if you go to jail on New Year's, you're not getting booked till like 24, 48 hours later, because everybody and mama going to jail on New Year's.
And the judges ain't trying to work.
And the judge is not trying to work, all types of stuff.
Yeah.
So in the cell, man, and I'm just like talking, having conversation with people, and they're in there for real crimes. Like one guy's in there for like stabbing somebody, one guy's in there for like hitting somebody with a car, another guy's in there for beating his wife. I'm like, yo, why am I don't even want to say why I'm in here. Like, I'm not even a criminal like that. And I remember I was having a conversation with this older gentleman, and he said something that resonates with me to this day. He said, people choose their habits and their habits choose their future. I don't know what book he got it from, but
that's huge.
It really resonated with my spirit. And I made a decision that moment after coming down. I was half high. I'm like, you know, when I get out of here, I'm going to change my behaviors. I'm going to change my habits so I can change my future. I was blessed to come out like 2 days later. My team was going on the road, so they ended up leaving me, going out of Houston, going on the road trip. But I came out, man, that's exactly what I did. I changed my behavior. I wasn't the most talented as far as the top salesperson, or even had the biggest team. But one of the things that really helped me earlier on was I was the most consistent with my behaviors.
Nice.
And that became easy for me to duplicate and teach, right? Because it's hard to kind of teach talent. You can teach certain skill set and techniques. Teachable was behaviors, like, hey, don't do this, hey, don't do that, hey, when you get to the field, don't sleep in your van, right? Like just simple things, but also even the personal things, right? Like the personal behavior, staying up all night, partying and all that, like cut that out a little earlier on, and career just kind of took off from there.
Wow, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember, you know, going back to the office and, TJ's in jail, and it was like New Year's. And
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I do remember that, brother. And that's the reason why I was asking you, because, you know, like I said, I mean, whenever you came in, I don't believe that you were a bad kid. I think you just you just didn't really care too much to listen to anybody. But then at one point, and I didn't know exactly what point that was, you became the most disciplined individual in the entire office. Like you started reading books, like you went 100% fully in.
I made it my mission to beat Tanya to the office.
Yeah.
I think Tanya got there like 8:30. Like I made it my mission, like get there and try to like call her, like, hey Tanya, where you at? I'm outside. Like I'm out the door. Yeah, I just became religious with my habits, man, and to your point, discipline.
And you know, the crazy part about it, even though that I was already established in the company, but then like me seeing you do that, and I don't think that I'm nowhere near as disciplined as you are, but seeing you do that and then seeing that, you know, that gradual change that is going up actually forced me to become more disciplined, right? And that's the reason why I wanted to know, like, where did that mind shift happen?
Yeah.
You know, and that's good to know.
Yeah.
You know, that was big, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate you for that.
No, 100%.
Okay, so the next one is, how do you personally define success, and what does that mean, right? Because success can be a lot of things. It really just.
That's a good question. I don't want to give a general answer. You know, most times success is a destination for people. I believe success is more so a state of mind and frequency, a harmony, because you can be a failure in one area of your life, and be successful in another area, and just kind of out of harmony, out of sync. So I believe that success is harmony. Things are vibrating in joy, right? Like you're enjoying your relationship with your wife. You're enjoying being a father, right? Like you're present in joy. You're enjoying business, right? Like it's not just the amount of money you have or the size of your business. Like, no, are you present and enjoying each and every aspect of it? I believe that's success. Because I mean, you reach a point or a destination, right? And it's like when you first got your first dream car, right? I remember when you first got the Corvette. I wanted the Corvette.
Yeah.
But then after I got the Corvette, I'm like, okay, cool. It was fun, and then I was aspiring for the next thing, and I thought I was successful, but it's more so like the state of I feel successful. I'm enjoying what's around me.
Gotcha.
And I'm in harmony with what's around me. So I would say it's more so a state than a destination.
Would you say that you're at that state right now?
I challenge myself to be every day. I would say I'm more in harmony in certain areas than others. I put a lot of focus on currently my relationship with God, harmonizing that as much as possible and uniting that, because that makes everything else easier. It makes family easier, being a father easier, business easier, a leader, a servant. Yeah. Right? Like I try to be of service to the world on a daily basis.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And so that kind of helps me stay in harmony in areas, right? I try to serve my wife, I try to serve my kids, serve the people I work with, serve clients, and just be of service, man. And I would say I'm in a mind state of success.
Yeah. Present, enjoying what you currently have.
Yeah.
I struggle with that. You know, it's funny thing you say that, because I 100% struggle with that. I'm always like, it's like I'm always chasing the carrot. And you know, one of the biggest things that I've noticed lately, especially since my son is getting 7 years old, and he'll almost have to pull me and be like, hey, I'm right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, when I'm there, I'm thinking about work and what do I need to accomplish. And then while I'm at work, I'm thinking about him and how I need to be present for his life. And it's like always this constant mental battle that I'm going through. Yeah. But
constantly getting pulled.
Yeah, because I'm constantly chasing success in both areas, but not when I'm actually present. So I'm gonna start applying that, bro. Yeah. It's like, I think that'll definitely help me out. Like whatever you're doing, just do that and don't think about the.
And I actually got that from my kids, right? Like,
they'll teach you.
If you watch your kids kind of grow up, they teach you how we need to carry these childlike behaviors and childlike traits into adulthood, right? Like if you hurt yourself as a child, after crying for 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, your ass is ready to go out and play all over again, right? Like I remember my son, I don't know where he was trying to jump from the couch to another couch or from the counter to the couch. He missed everything. Yeah. Belly flopped and hit the floor.
Yeah.
And he was crying. We even took him to the hospital. I think he had to get stitches. Right after getting stitches, this mother lover is jumping on couches all over again. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. But you know what happens is when we fail as adults, or we hurt ourselves as adults, we hesitate to take risk all over again. We hesitate to to go on to the next thing or to even jump all over again. And I'm like, man, you know, kids are just so present. They're 100%. So present. And if you can grow up, but maintain being a child and work your ass off, man, the world is your playground.
Wow. That was big, bro. That was fucking huge.
Yeah, I don't even know where that came from. Yeah.
No, that was huge. Yeah, because the kid isn't thinking about the pain that they felt, you know, a few hours ago or a few days ago in doing that activity. And they're not thinking about the pain that they're going to feel a few hours later or a few days later. And eventually they just become successful at it because they're not, I'm doing this right now.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Whatever they do, they get in trouble. Like my daughters, they get in trouble. My son, they get in trouble. Right at the timeout, they're back to playing. Like they're back to just being in joy, right?
Yeah.
And you can't actually enjoy something or be in joy unless you're in it.
Yeah.
Present in the moment,
right?
So to enjoy something, you need to be actually in joy.
And I noticed that because whenever you try to like ask them like, what were you thinking? And then you start to realize that they weren't thinking it up. Nah, they
was having fun.
Yeah, they were just doing it.
Yeah.
So you can't really blame them because they wasn't thinking about the consequences. They were just thinking about that moment, like, yo, this is fun, or this is what I need to be doing right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, the consequences will stop us from doing what we need to be doing.
Exactly.
That was big, man. I appreciate that one, bro.
Yes, sir.
This is about risk taking, bro. Because, you know, kind of with what we were talking about, we mitigate risk so much that it just kind of puts like a stopping block. And you don't go for it, right? So can you share a time when you took a significant amount of risk that actually paid off, and what did you learn from that experience?
I would say the biggest risk I took was shortly after I got out of jail, New Year's, and I ended up coming up to Maryland. And the biggest risk I took, I went out there on a road trip at first, came back, didn't think nothing of it, but to actually move out there, not knowing anybody, not having any family, in a foreign, it felt like a foreign country.
It was.
Right, because Maryland's completely different than Texas.
Yeah.
And to go up there, it was in February, March, it's still kind of like cold in Maryland, like it's snow. It's snowing in Maryland. And so I would say to just completely move my life up there, that was probably the biggest risk, but the biggest blessing as well, because I had no choice and I had an opportunity to completely recreate myself when it comes to behaviors, habits. Didn't have a lot of distractions, right? Like whenever you're home in your comfort zone, you have a lot of, call it naysayers, you have a lot of distractions, you have a lot of people pulling you back into your old ways, right? Like, you know, friends want to hang out, hey, let's go party, man, you're always working. Hey, let's smoke, you know, you're always working. And I was able to separate myself to be able to elevate myself out there. And that was the biggest risk, but it paid off because throughout that process, had better habits, was able to build new relationships that were meaningful.
Right.
That brought value to me and I brought value to. And it worked out, man. It worked out. I was able to grow the most personally.
Yeah.
And also as a reflection of growing personally, business grew as well.
I think that's also kind of what gave you, I want to say, the spotlight, right? Because it was like, okay, what is TJ gonna do? Is he gonna sink or is he gonna swim? And I mean, you went out there and you just started, you know, swimming, like, and I think that they put you in that spot, they put you in a tough situation, you know, because it's tough. I mean, I was out there, but to be 100% honest with you, Maryland was probably one of my darkest time in my career. We did well, but I hated every single moment of it. You know, just because being away from your family and all this other extra stuff that was going on, and it's a completely different ball game out there.
100%.
But you know, when I see you go out there in Maryland and still you were able to have fun with it, and you were able to build a massive organization. Not only did you build a massive office, but then you got to open up Philadelphia as well. And then it also gave you the chance or the opportunity for your higher ups to see that, hey, you know what, when TJ comes back to Texas, he's probably the guy to be able to run Texas. And I think it put you on that spotlight where everybody was watching to see what you were gonna do. And I think you came out extremely, extremely successful and victorious of it. Like, it's almost like the stories of back in the day where they throw the kid into the wild and make him come back with a wolf skin, you know. And you came back with like 2 of them motherfuckers.
Yeah, come back with the pack, man. It put me in a position to, like, I committed, right? Like when I moved, I don't even think I stayed in a hotel. I think I immediately signed a lease. Like it was everything was committed, so it was swim or swim at that point. At no point was it in my head like, hey, I'm gonna retreat. 'Cause I mean, at that point, like once you commit to, I guess, running an office, things like that, like you're investing in the business. And at that point, the beauty in our business is I love how at every level as you grow, every level is training for the next level. It's just like a video game, right? Like level 1 is training for level 2. And level 10 is a lot harder, so you're not just starting a game on level 10, but you're going to the levels along the way that train you up and get you equipped to deal with the pressures, the challenges at those higher levels. So I believe by that point, trained quite a bit of people. I lost a lot of teams, I failed a lot, and it was just at that point of overseeing the office, it was the same failures. Or the same failing moments that I was able to just apply the same rebuilding principles, and it worked. Yeah, I've been there before and it worked. Yeah.
Just pack your shit and go, bro. Let's go.
Literally, I was on the patio. I remember, and they're like, "Hey, you leave." It was a Saturday. I remember. They're like, "Hey, you ready to go?" Pack.
Yeah.
And they was like, "All right, you leave tomorrow." I'm like, "Oh, for real? Y'all, y'all for real?" Ass like, "I'm ready to go." And also, like the support is important too, right? Like my girlfriend at the time, which is not my wife, she didn't hesitate to support me, right? Like,
that's big.
And no go, which really helped, because when I was out there, that's a huge part. Like I wasn't focused on chasing females. I wasn't focused on really living the bachelor lifestyle, like I said, because I had really started implementing the right habits. So I was able to fully just lock in on business.
Right.
Because my girl, we were in a long distance relationship, and that's when I made a decision that like, okay, I can be in a long distance relationship, still not have the desire to chase women and focus. Like this is gonna be my wife.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's when it just kind of worked out.
How old were you?
I was 21 when I went out there. And we sealed the deal like 23 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think whenever you
Columbia.
guys went to Columbia, I was running Baltimore. And I couldn't go because the office had just started.
Yeah, you just got it rocking.
What legacy do you hope to leave behind in this industry, and how do you want people to remember you?
That's a huge question, because part of my why is I don't want to be another person who just lived, paid bills, died, maybe remembered for a couple years and then forgotten by the next generation. Know of really my great-great-grandfather.
Right.
And that bothers me. It bothers me that I don't want to be, I want to be significant to where great-grandkids don't even have to ask.
Right.
But I would say the legacy I want to leave in this industry is that anyone who is willing to apply themselves, willing to maintain a great attitude and work their ass off and learn, this is another path for you to achieve growth, success, develop skills that can carry you throughout life. Right? Like I think since we got into this industry, we're in the same industry. Going on past, 10 years, right? You've been in the industry past 10 years. I'm going on past 10 years, and I can't imagine, but without applying these principles, going into any other industry, like this industry completely changed my life. It's made me a better businessman and better communicator.
Right.
But also a better husband, father, friend, everything. Provider, taught me how to deal with relationships, manage relationships, emotional intelligence, manage myself.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that people are aware that this is an opportunity for them as well.
Right.
Coming up, I expect to go like the traditional route, right? Like go to college in grad school, and past that, go to med school. I wanted to be a doctor, a cardiologist.
I was just gonna ask you, what did you want it to be?
I originally wanted to go to the league, and then
what league?
Football.
What position?
Corner and safety. Played defensive back, and just when I got to college, it was cool, but the passion for football just kind of disappeared. Yeah. But I always aspired to be a cardiologist. I wanted to help people, and I wanted to make a lot of money doing it. So I got into studying biology, and I started discussing being a doctor with some mentors and shadowing some doctors. And I realized that we were studying medicine, and we were studying prescriptions of curing the symptoms and not curing the actual disease. I didn't sit right with my spirit. I'm like, that's not why I want to be a doctor. I want to actually cure people. Yeah. And one of the doctors pulled me aside. He's like, that's not how it works. It's a living, breathing organism. The doctors, we kind of feed the pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry kind of feeds the doctors. I'm like, yo, this is a business. I'm focused on the wrong thing. I need to be focused on business. Yeah. And that's when I kind of started gravitating towards business. And I knew someone that was in the industry. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, this I don't know if you remember Nick DeShield.
I remember Nick.
Man, Nick changed my life, man, because he opened up my eyes like, yo, if this mother lover can do it, I know as long as I at least work, I can do half what he was doing. He's making like $2,000 a week at the
Nick
time.
was a monster.
Like, he was a monster, man.
He's an unforgettable person, too.
I'm like, if he was making $2,000 a week, I can at least make $1,000 a week. I was 20 years old. Like,
Yeah.
I can do a lot of my life making $4,000 a month. Like,
Right.
And like, I want to bring that awareness and kind of pave that way that, like, yo, you can change your life with this. And it's one of the oldest industries or professions in the world.
That almost got forgotten.
Yeah, that almost got forgotten.
Yeah.
And energy never dies.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I think as long as we're alive, there's always gonna be opportunity to pave your way into the industry, especially in the energy industry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is that where the name came from?
The Energy Doctor.
The Energy Doctor.
Yes, sir.
Holy
Yes,
crap,
sir.
I never knew.
Yes, sir.
I remember you used to come to the office with a whole energy
doctor suit.
The doctor suit.
Yeah, the doctor,
what is that called?
the jacket, the white coat.
The white coat, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you used to coming in. I thought it was just a funny thing, or like, like this became your whole new persona now. But now it makes sense. You're doing energy, but you wanted to be a doctor, so hey,
exactly. The Energy
put both
Doctor.
of them together. I love that. Okay, I got you. All right. So, how do you view competition in the industry, and how has it influenced your strategies and your approach?
That's an interesting question, because we competition.
Yeah.
Right? On a serious note, I look at competition as more so a mirror. I think that's what helped me earlier on, was even though in the office you got different teams, you got different competition, you compete, also observe what people were doing right. And just as important as what people were doing right, I was able to learn what people were doing wrong and learn from what people were doing wrong. If I see Johnny, touch the stove and burn his hand, I don't need to go touch the stove, burn my hand, go to the hospital, deal with a burned hand to know that the stove is hot.
Right.
I was able to avoid a lot of mistakes from observing. But if I see, like, instant for yourself, right? Like, I see something that you're doing right, it's like, that's a good reflection of, I need to be implementing that, or I need to understand what it is that's working.
Right.
I believe that we all kind of share the same spirit, right?
Yeah.
We all are one, and at the end of the day, there was one person in the beginning. We all kind of stem from the same descendants. So if I can learn something from another reflection of me in a different industry, or even in the same industry but part of a different company, that helps me evolve faster as a leader, as a person. I look at competition as more so a mirror and what I can learn from them.
I think it's good to compete with people, but I think it's also just important to know that you can learn from each other.
100%.
And I know we're in different companies and you can call it competition, but I also want to make sure that you know and understand, and I also hope that the feeling is mutual. Like, man, you got a question about something, hit me up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna gatekeep any information.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that the world is an abundant place.
Yeah.
There's plenty to go around.
Exactly.
Right? So if I tell you my quote unquote secrets, it's not gonna make me worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
gonna hopefully that there's something that you can utilize and help you out and make you better. But then I also know that I have a friend that I can come to whenever I need help.
Exactly.
Or advice.
Exactly.
And that eventually is gonna make me stronger as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's ever gonna make us weak.
Exactly. And that's operating in abundance, right? Like when you give, knowing that you're gonna get more back in return regardless. On top of that, it helps evolve your ideas. Right? Like I tell people all the time, especially those I'm working with, like, hey, don't hesitate to bring up ideas.
Yeah.
Like if you see something, say something. If you have an idea, say it, because whether we implement it or not, your idea may help evolve other ideas. It may spark something in someone that helps evolve. So that's huge, man. Like you can when you discuss things, take advice, give advice, it helps things evolve. It helps you evolve.
Absolutely.
First and foremost. So yeah.
Appreciate that. That was real.
Oh yeah, 100%, man.